Imagine you are the CEO of the fastest growing $158 billion tech company. It's Friday evening and you sit down to watch your favorite Grand Prix race. You get a call from your co-founder. He wants to meet you on Google Meet. You think this is a very strange time to talk. You open your laptop and join the Meet link. You see not just your co-founder but the entire board of directors. You are confused. The next 5 minutes are the most brutal 5 minutes of your life. By the end of the call, it feels like someone punched your gut hard. You just got fired by your own board and co-founder. No warnings, no excuses. The company you put blood, sweat and tears for a decade just kicked you out. What would you do? This is exactly what happened on November 17, 2023 with Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. But why did the board fire Sam Altman? What was happening behind the biggest AI tech company that the public and even Sam were unaware of? To understand this, you need to rewind to 2014 when OpenAI was founded, and even further to when Sam was playing with MacBooks as a kid. This is the controversial rise of OpenAI. Sam was born on April 22, 1985 in Illinois, United States. Even as a kid, he was a tech prodigy. At 3 years old, while most kids were playing, Sam was already fixing the family's broken video cassette tapes. His parents quickly realized he wasn't a typical child, he was special. When he was 8, his mother got him a Macintosh computer, and that's when the real magic began. He dissected it, took it apart, and learned how it worked and taught himself to code. By 12, Sam had already launched his first e-commerce venture, buying and selling baseball cards online. But Sam's childhood wasn't all roses and sunshine. When he was in high school, the authorities prevented a group from talking about sexuality in their assembly because it was considered taboo. But Sam wasn't going to let that happen. In a bold move, he stood before the entire school, openly came out as gay, and gave a passionate speech on freedom of expression and acceptance. The authorities were so impressed that they changed their rules and allowed kids from all genders to study. After high school, Sam made it into the prestigious Stanford University to pursue computer science. While it looks like a big deal for an average person, it wasn't for him. While others were busy attending lectures, Sam became interested in poker. It wasn't just a game to him. It was a masterclass in strategy, psychology, and high-stakes decision-making. For Sam, poker taught him more about business than any lecture ever could. But as time passed, Sam began to feel out of place. Like many tech visionaries before him, he realized that Stanford wasn't where he should be. So 2 years in, he made a bold decision. He dropped out of Stanford to chase something bigger, something that couldn't be taught in a classroom. And just like that, a teenager who had just dropped out of Stanford was about to get his first taste of business. After dropping out of Stanford in 2005, Sam had a bold idea, a mobile app that lets users share their location with friends. At the time, smartphones weren't popular and most people thought the idea was crazy. It seemed impractical. But Sam wasn't gonna back down. He and his co-founder, Nick Sevo, another Stanford dropout, were determined. In 2005, at just 19 years old, Sam launched his first startup, Loop It. But they were just two teenagers with zero business experience and funding. They wanted money. They heard about a new startup incubator that was investing in new startups. So Sam did something unthinkable. He drove 5,000 kilometers from Stanford to Massachusetts to pitch his idea. When he reached there, he impressed Paul Graham, founder of Y Combinator. Paul loved Sam's attitude and decided to invest in them. Sam and Nick walked away with $6,000 in seed funding. Loopit became one of the first startups to join Y Combinator. It was special because Y Combinator was still an unknown name in the startup world. Despite this, Paul put immense trust and faith in Sam. After some months, Loopit started making some bold moves. They secured deals with giants like Verizon, AT&T, and other major network providers. But this wasn't an easy feat. Convincing billion-dollar corporations to partner with them took work, but it paid off. Over the next few years, Loopit raised $25 million in funding. It looked like Sam was on the fast track to success. But then, things began to slow down. Bigger competitors started entering the space. They had massive parent companies to fund them, whereas Loopit was still very new. It was like David versus Goliath. Google Latitude and Foursquare, backed by powerful parent companies, were quickly eating into Loopit's market share. To make matters worse, advertisers were skeptical about spending money on location-based ads. This made it nearly impossible for Loopit to generate consistent revenue. And then came the final blow. Facebook and Twitter started rising in popularity, pulling pulling users' attention and advertising dollars away from location-based apps like Loopit. Despite its early lead and bold partnerships, Loopit was struggling to keep up in a race it had helped start. And for Sam, the clock was ticking. Sam was giving it everything he had. Long hours, sleepless nights, he did all he could to make Loopit work. But after months of fighting, it was clear. Loopit's future was looking bleak. In March 2012, Sam made a difficult decision. He sold Loopit to Green Dot Corporation for $40 million. Although it wasn't a total failure, it wasn't a big accomplishment either. In his heart, Sam knew he could have done more and built something bigger. After selling Loopit, he went back to Paul and Y Combinator. He became a co-founder at Y Combinator, mentoring other startups and sharing the lessons he had learned from Loopit's struggles. He also created private equity to invest in new and groundbreaking startups. Soon enough, Paul Graham appointed him as the president of Y Combinator. Many people don't know that Sam briefly served as the CEO of Reddit in July 2014. Reddit was in crisis. The board was unhappy with the current CEO and they needed someone to step in. They turned to Sam Altman. 5 days after becoming the CEO, Sam helped raise $50 million in Reddit funding with Andreessen Horowitz on board. It was a major win. After his cameo 9 days later, he returned to his role at Y Combinator, leaving Reddit behind. However, his connection to Reddit remained. Sam still owns 8.7% of Reddit stock, more than the current CEO. But Sam's journey into artificial intelligence began unexpectedly. It happened on a sunny day when Sam and his friends set off on a road trip filled with excitement and laughter. But somewhere along the way, their conversation shifted to something more serious: AI. They started talking about AI, its potential impact on humans, ethics, and how it could help humanity move forward as a race. That conversation planted a seed in Sam's mind. He wanted to be a pioneer of the revolution that would change humanity with AI. It wasn't long before Sam discovered another major Silicon Valley entrepreneur who shared his vision for AI, and it was none other than Elon Musk himself. Let's go back a few years. In the heart of Silicon Valley, a storm was brewing. Elon Musk was deeply concerned about Google's dominance in artificial intelligence. At the time, Google had nearly half of the world's AI talent. Elon felt this was dangerous. The idea that a single for-profit company could control the future of such a powerful and unpredictable technology sent chills down his spine. He knew something had to change. So, he gathered some of Silicon Valley's brightest minds for a dinner that would change the course of AI forever. Among them was Larry Page, Google's co-founder and Elon's friend. Or at least he had been. Casually, Elon started talking about the rising concerns of AI. He argued that AI developments must be approached carefully with humanity's survival at its core. But Larry had a different perspective. He dismissed Elon's concerns, insisting that artificial intelligence wasn't a threat, but a crucial step in humanity's evolution. Elon sharply replied he was on the side of humanity and didn't want to risk losing human consciousness to AI. The room became tense as they realized how different their views were. Larry made a sharp remark calling Elon a speciesist, a person who thought humans were better than everything else. The friendship was fractured and the battle lines were drawn. Just months later, Google sent a strong message. They acquired DeepMind, a famous artificial intelligence research lab, for $650 million, a deal that cemented their AI supremacy and made it clear. The race was on, and this was only the beginning of the AI war. Elon knew he had to act quickly. So in late 2014, Elon took a bold step. He sent an email to Sam Altman with a clear and urgent message. The world needs a new kind of AI company, one that prioritizes humanity's survival over profits. But Elon wasn't stopping there. He reached out to other big names in his circle: Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, Paul Graham, and Jessica Livingston, the leaders of Y Combinator. Together, they began sketching the blueprint for a non-profit AI research company. The mission was ambitious: to develop AI that was not only powerful but also ethical, safe, and open for benefit of everyone. By December 2015, OpenAI was born. Sam Altman stepped in as the CEO, whilst Elon and other founders formed the board of directors. But turning this dream into reality required massive resources. To attract top talent and perform groundbreaking research, the team pledged an initial $1 billion investment. Elon put $10 million of his own money on the table without hesitation. Around the same time, Sam created a non-profit research fund for Y Combinator, personally investing $10 million. Ilya Sutskever, one of the world's leading AI researchers, also joined OpenAI after leaving a comfortable 7-figure job at Google. Greg Brockman, the CTO of Stripe, also followed him. Together, they formed a powerhouse team, united by one mission: to ensure that AI would benefit humanity, not destroy it. From the start, OpenAI wasn't just aiming to make advancements, it wanted to transform the field of AI. By 2016, its efforts were already starting to make a big impact. That year, OpenAI began publishing its research, freely sharing cutting-edge AI advancements with the world, and soon, the algorithms they built were doing the unimaginable. OpenAI's models began mastering complex tasks like playing video games with superhuman precision, and that's when AI started getting really good. In August 2017, OpenAI's bot, OpenAI Fi, defeated one of Ukraine's top professional players in an intense match of Dota 2. Dota isn't just any game, it is a real-time strategy battle that demands constant decision-making and adaptability. The idea that an AI could outperform a professional player was exciting. It was special because OpenAI Fi did 80,000 calculations per second, adapting every 0.2 seconds. They were trained on 45,000 years of gameplay and had a reaction time of 150 milliseconds. And yet this was just the beginning. By mid-2018, OpenAI Fi began competing against amateur teams, crushing them with ease. In August 2018, OpenAI Fi faced off against the reigning professional champions in the best of 3 series. The result? OpenAI Fi lost. But this wasn't a failure. Researchers at OpenAI knew this was just the beginning, and it proved out to be true. In April 2019, OpenAI achieved the unthinkable. OpenAI Fi defeated Team OG, former Dota 2 world champions, in a stunning display of strategy and precision. OpenAI's tech advancements seemed unstoppable, but in the background, problems were starting to emerge. The team that had built OpenAI's success was about to crumble. A big player was about to go, and an even bigger player would come to replace him. In February 2018, Elon Musk, one of OpenAI's main co-founders, made a shocking exit. In Silicon Valley, this news quickly grabbed attention. At first, no one really knew what was going on, but as time passed, more details started to emerge. Officially, the story was that Elon faced a conflict of interest with his company, Tesla. He wanted to integrate AI into his cars, a completely separate project. But there's also another theory. Some say Elon was frustrated with OpenAI's slower progress compared to Google and wanted to take control to accelerate it. Whatever the reason, Elon now was gone, and his departure left a massive gap, not just in leadership but also in funding. You see, Elon had pledged $1 billion to OpenAI, but by the time he had left, he had only contributed $35 million. So there was a big gap in the funding. Meanwhile, OpenAI was burning through cash very fast and heading straight for a financial crisis. Sam knew he had to take a drastic action, and so, in a bold move, OpenAI did something almost unheard of. They completely changed their business structure. Less than a year after Elon's departure, OpenAI announced a new subsidiary, OpenAI LP, and shifted from a non-profit to a capped for profit model. This new structure allowed investors to earn a return up to 100x their investment. But more importantly, this would help OpenAI get more funding from investors. For example, if you invested $10 million, you could potentially earn up to $1 billion in profit, but no more than that. This move sparked controversy, but for OpenAI, it was a matter of survival. To understand that, we need to rewind a bit. Originally, OpenAI was a non-profit. That meant it wasn't set up to make money for investors. Instead, it reinvested any profits back into AI development and hiring top talent. Now, OpenAI has two separate entities, OpenAI Inc., the non-profit, and OpenAI LP, the new capped for profit company. OpenAI Inc. would still own OpenAI LP, keeping the non-profit's mission intact, ensuring that AI would still benefit the public. But now, OpenAI could raise the funds it desperately needed to power its ambitious research. It was a win-win. They could keep their good reputation while getting massive capital from investors. Less than a month after the announcement, Google's competitor, Microsoft, made its move. They invested $1 billion into OpenAI. This deal gave OpenAI access to Microsoft's resources and global distribution channels. In return, Microsoft got exclusive access to OpenAI's models and a seat at the AI table alongside Google. But not everyone was thrilled with the new direction. Many AI experts criticized the move, fearing that OpenAI was drifting away from its original mission of serving the public good. Some even started to question if it had lost its way entirely. Despite massive investments, OpenAI still wasn't making money. Then, in February 2019, OpenAI shook things up by releasing GPT-2, an AI capable of generating text that sounded like it was written by humans. It was a game changer. What no one realized at the time was that this was just the beginning. In just 3 years, OpenAI would release something that would forever alter the course of technology and revolutionize the way humans saw AI. Hey guys, before we jump into the next part of the story, I just wanna say, if you have been enjoying these videos, make sure to turn on notifications for the business trails. I'm working on some even bigger projects right now, and I would love for you to be the first to see them when they are ready. I can't wait to share what's coming next. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Alright, let's get back to the story. 2022 was a pivotal year for AI. By this time, the general public still hadn't experienced AI's true potential. OpenAI, however, was about to change everything. In early November, OpenAI gave the world its first real look at ChatGPT, a revolutionary chatbot capable of generating human-like text, writing articles, giving free advice, and much more. But at that point, few realized how powerful this technology would be. On November 30th, 2022, ChatGPT was officially live. Major media outlets, influencers, and tech enthusiasts all took notice. The world was finally ready to see what AI could really do. And the hype was enormous. Within just 5 days, ChatGPT reached 1 million users, making it one of the fastest growing platforms ever. In its first 3 months, ChatGPT raked up over 1 billion visitors. It was everywhere, and the internet couldn't stop talking about it. And OpenAI wasn't done yet. Right after the launch, they secured a massive $10 billion investment from Microsoft. It was the biggest investment they had received ever. With this, Microsoft became OpenAI's exclusive cloud provider. Microsoft's backing turned OpenAI into an even bigger player, setting the stage for the next phase of their journey. But just as the celebrations were picking up, trouble was quietly brewing behind the scenes. The CEO that had put his life to build this company was about to get the biggest shock of his life. Picture this. You are at the top of a tech company running one of the most powerful AI organizations in the world. Then, one day during a simple video call, you lose everything. This is what happened to Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI in 2023. But let's go back and see how things started falling apart. It all began when OpenAI faced serious accusations. Publishers and authors claimed the company used their work, like articles and books, to train its AI models without asking for permission. As more authors and companies joined in, the problem got bigger. But this wasn't the only trouble OpenAI faced. New York public schools decided to ban ChatGPT, saying it could harm students' ability to think critically. Soon, schools in Australia and India made similar moves. But the biggest storm hit when ChatGPT was accused of political bias. You see, a user asked it to write a positive poem about Donald Trump, then one about Joe Biden. ChatGPT gave a confusing response to Trump's poem but gave a valid output for Biden's query. This set off a firestorm online. Was OpenAI's model influencing public opinion with its bias? But the most shocking controversy wasn't from the public, it was internal. On November 17, 2023, Sam Altman was at home watching the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Out of nowhere, he got a Google Meet link from Ilya Sutskever, OpenAI's co-founder. When he joined the call, he was hit with a shock. He was fired as CEO with no warnings at all. Ilya told him the board had unanimously voted to remove him, citing Sam's lack of transparency in board conversations. Sam was stunned. He couldn't process what had happened. For the next 24 hours, he didn't eat or sleep. His phone buzzed non-stop with messages from friends and colleagues, all wondering what went wrong. It was a dark time for Sam. Sam's close ally, Greg Brockman, also resigned in support. But this drama didn't end here. In fact, it was just getting started. The very next day, November 18th, OpenAI hired a new CEO, Emmett Shear, former CEO of Twitch, known for being an AI skeptic. Meanwhile, Microsoft was closely watching the drama unfold. They saw an opportunity and moved fast. They offered Sam Altman and Greg Brockman leadership roles at Microsoft. It was a tempting deal and felt like the ultimate power play. Without hesitation, they accepted. This wasn't good news for the OpenAI board. Soon, more employees left OpenAI to join Microsoft, tempted by lucrative offers. It seemed Microsoft had pulled off the ultimate move, securing OpenAI's top minds and gaining access to its valuable source code without paying a cent. At the time, OpenAI was valued at $80 billion, making this the greatest unofficial acquisition in history. But Sam wasn't going to walk away yet. He and 700 other OpenAI employees signed a petition demanding Sam and Greg's return. Out of 770 employees, nearly everyone stood by them. Under intense pressure, the OpenAI board surrendered. Sam and Greg were brought back, ending one of the most dramatic chapters in OpenAI's history. In the weeks following his reinstatement, Sam made moves to stabilize OpenAI. He removed the existing board members and brought in new leadership. In May 2024, Ilya Sutskever left the company. He felt OpenAI was no longer headed in the direction he believed in. When this news became public, Elon Musk quickly responded, calling Ilya's departure a serious concern. But it wasn't just Ilya. Helen Toner, one of the fired board members who later criticized Sam, admitted that they felt Sam wasn't transparent with his goals for OpenAI. She even revealed that the board didn't learn about ChatGPT's launch until it was announced on Twitter, right on the launch day. In May 2024, Elon Musk accused Sam Altman of breaking their agreement. He claimed Sam took funding from him but later turned OpenAI into a for-profit company without fulfilling his promises to Elon. This was the first domino to fall in a series of events that would destabilize OpenAI's core team. In just 2024 alone, OpenAI lost 5 of its key leadership members. Between 2020 and 2024, at least 12 people had left OpenAI to join its rival, Anthropic. The original founders were now nearly gone. Sam and Greg were the only ones left. Even Mira Murati, OpenAI's CTO, left in September 2024. But the turmoil of OpenAI wasn't over yet. Just a few months later, another shocking event would bring limelight to the company. Suchir Balaji, a former OpenAI researcher who had worked on major AI projects like GPT-4, resigned in August 2024 citing ethical concerns. Suchir stated that OpenAI was violating US copyright laws, claiming they had trained their models on copyrighted data without proper authorization. Then in November 2024, just weeks after his public statements, Suchir was found dead in his San Francisco apartment, a single gunshot wound to the head. Authorities ruled it a suicide, citing no evidence of foul play, but his family wasn't convinced. They claimed Suchir had shown no signs of distress and they pushed for a deeper investigation. Whether a tragic coincidence or something darker, one thing was certain. Suchir Balaji's warnings about OpenAI didn't fade away. Instead, they ignited a much bigger conversation about AI ethics and the future of companies like OpenAI. Currently, Sam is still the CEO of OpenAI and is leading them from the front, trying to make AI accessible to average people like you and me. And that's where OpenAI stands today. If you found Sam's journey fascinating, then you won't want to miss the story of how an immigrant from India built a $25 billion tech empire. Watch the full video here.